All you need to bullet journal is a notebook and a pen. True story. Hey y'all, welcome back to Dots and Beyond. If you are new here, my name is Beth, and today is Bujo Bulletin number 1, the basics. So we are going to talk about the bare minimum of things you need to bullet journal. So I have this Archer and Olive journal, which is what I prefer to use, but you definitely don't have to have that. You can just use a notebook and a pen, a spiral bound, a lined notebook, a grid notebook, a dot notebook, it doesn't matter. And then you might need a pencil and a ruler and an eraser if you're really fastidious, but you don't even really need that. You just need the journal, the book, or the pen. And once you have those things in place, we are just going to start at the very beginning. And I am going to link in the description box below the official bullet journal channel. You definitely need to go check out that 4-minute introductory bullet journal video if you have not yet done so. More than anything, bullet journaling is a productivity and time management system. So the first thing we need to establish is our key of symbols to help be our guiding light moving forward. Personally, I use a little bit of a different key than Ryder Carroll, the creator of the bullet journal, but for these purposes we are going back to, again, the basics, and so this is the key as established by Ryder himself. So for this key we have a bullet point or a dot, which indicates a task that needs to be done. If you have completed that task, you simply draw an X for completed over top of your bullet point. If you have migrated your task, which means you didn't get it done on a particular day and you need to move it to another day, you turn it into a right arrow. If you have scheduled that task, if it's on sort of a running task list and you've put it on a specific day, you can turn it into a back arrow. And then of course just draw a line through anything that has been canceled to indicate you no longer need to do that task. And then he uses an open circle to mark an event, a triangle to mark an appointment, and a dash to mark a note. And then in addition to those particular symbols, there are signifiers, and I have put those off on the right. So the asterisk being something that is a priority, the exclamation point being something that is inspirational, and then he uses actually an eyeball for something that you want to explore. I just drew this in a little bitty sort of circle arrow that you need to circle back around and do something. And then specifically for me, because I'm using this key throughout this video, I did put a little play button for video because I do use YouTube in some of my examples. Once you have your key in place, of course, you need to be able to find specific pages where they are located throughout your journal. And so some journals do come with a pre-made index. This one does not, so I am creating an index for this one. Personally, in my personal bullet journal, I do not keep an index. Because of that, when I started keeping a separate business journal, I did not set up an index for myself, and that is about to change. I'm about to migrate into a new journal because my current one is full, and I will definitely be adding that index back into the equation. For this example, I have included 3 separate pages that should be fairly sufficient for me in the index. And I simply labeled it index and then drew a straight line where I can put page numbers on the left and the content of those page numbers on the right. And today happens to be a rather boisterous day for the Dots and Beyond felines, Faramir and Éowyn, so you may hear more background noise than usual. The next spread I'm going to set up is a full year calendar that we can use as a future log, where you're going to put appointments and things for months that you have not yet set up in your bullet journal. Some bullet journalers also set up an entire page that is a calendar at a glance. I'll pop it up here in the top left corner. I don't use one of these. I feel like my future log suits the same purpose, and it's a lot less of writing tiny little calendars. So I'm going to go ahead and get that future log set up on one page for you just to see how a double spread looks with the calendar. And then through the magic of video, we will jump to a full completed calendar. So across the top is January through June, across the bottom is July through December, Underneath each month header are the days of the week, Monday through Sunday. I do start my weeks on Monday. And a hot tip for this one, you can actually sync your smartphone to start your smartphone calendar on the particular day of the week that you prefer, either being Sunday or Monday, and that way your digital devices are the same as however you prefer your bullet journal to be. And then it isn't necessary, but I do enjoy having the number of the week that we are currently on to the right of my mini calendar. So I have the Monday through Sunday, and then on the right side the week number for that particular week that we're on. And then as you can see, I have written down 1/18/15/22, and that is how I keep my calendars in order. Whatever day of the week it's starting on, I start with 1 and then 15, 22, 29, and then I make sure I get my numbers all in place accordingly. And then for weeks that are split across 2 particular months, I put that week on the month that has the most days. So it's either 4 or more days, and that's where that week number will fall. I'm going to finish up numbering this calendar off camera, and poof, there we go, a full 12-month calendar. Again, the great thing about customizing your own bullet journal is that you can choose to do this any way that you prefer. But I am going to go ahead now and number those pages and go back to my index and put in pages 1 and 2 are the future log. And when creating my own numbering system, I do start that number 1 after the index. Again, that is something that you can set up for yourself if you prefer. And then we are going to start populating this future log. So I put in New Year's Day just so that you could see, and then I'm putting in some samples on July, as I am going to use July as my sample moving forward in this bullet journal. So I put an open circle for Independence Day. Again, I am an American. I put a triangle for an appointment, which would be my biannual checkup with my doctor. Another open circle on the 10th for dinner with Joy, who is my cousin. The 18th, which is my dadiversary, that is the day that my father passed away, and then a couple of more birthdays with friends, and then another little indicator on August just to show you how that would be filled out before you actually move on to your monthly pages in the journal. You can also set this up in full columns, which would then cover 2 full spreads, 6 months on each spread. How you set up the following pages is entirely up to you and what works best for you. For this example, I'm going to use a combination of the original bullet journal method combined with a couple of bells and whistles that are just helpful to me. And one of those bells and whistles is to go ahead and then create that mini calendar. Again, we're going to use an example for July there in the top left corner. And then off to the right of that, I actually put a little section of important dates, things that are not necessarily want to be on my main calendar, but that I do want to remember, like birthdays and such. And then down the left column, I'm numbering the days of July from the 1st through the 31st. And then next to those to the left, I'm actually putting the indicator of TFFSMT for the days of the week: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then I keep a ruler handy. You don't have to do this, and I just draw a little line to separate that from where I'm going to put my appointments. Again, you could set that exact column style up in that future log and put your appointments in your future log. That way the same premise would apply. Here I am going to populate some of those important dates from that previous July calendar onto what is now our working July calendar. So I'm putting in the holiday, my dadiversary, and a couple of those friends' birthdays that I had on that calendar. And now we are going to go down and actually put appointments or more important things on my July calendar that need to get done. So on Friday the 2nd, I post a video every Friday. So I have a week 27 video on the 2nd, a week 28 video on the 9th, 29th, on the 16th, and so forth all the way down the page to remind myself that I have those personal deadlines. And now I'm going to transfer some of these other things over there. So I am putting on the 4th of July here where I live, our symphony does a Pops on the River, which is an event that I like to be a part of. I am putting down the stadium tour, which is an online concert that I'm hoping to attend. That dinner with Joy that I had on the calendar, as well as that biannual checkup. And that is how you move things from your future log onto what your working calendar for that month is. And then glancing back at my signifiers here, I'm going to put a little asterisk off next to the 10th of July for Dinner with Joy to make sure that that is something I follow up on and definitely don't miss. And of course, because I did sketch this out in advance, I am taking care of a few pencil lines here as we move forward, and then numbering these pages that we are on as 3 and 4, and then I'm going to put down the number 3 and July. I don't need to go any farther than that at this point. We just need to know that July starts on page 3. And then on the right side of the page, we are going to take any information from the month of June or tasks that didn't get done and put them on this page. We are also just going to free flow our thoughts or brain dump or stream of consciousness, all the things that you can think that you need to get done in the month of July. Some of those things may be associated with some of the tasks or events that are on your calendar to the left. For example, I know that I am going to need to do my week 28 video, my week 29 video, and so I have bullet points nested below that video for ideas, sketching, filming, editing, posting, that sort of thing. And then of course I mentioned that I do have my dadiversary, the day of my father's passing, in July, so sending mom a card, we do not live in the same city, is definitely a priority for me, so I have put that on this list. I put making a list for my doctor since I have a biannual checkup, just to make sure that if there's anything I need to touch base with my doctor on, I can do that. I have been working on a bedroom refresh, not necessarily a redecorating or renovation, but just sort of redoing it a little. So I put bedroom final touches, and below that I put chair, rug, and gallery wall. So those are a couple things I still need to get done in that bedroom space. I might need to schedule some PTO or vacation. I put a question mark next to that. And then my birthday is in August, so sometime here in July I need to make plans, and this could stretch farther down the page or on to the next page depending on how many things you need to purge out of your brain and get down on paper. On the next spread, we are going to look at 2 different ways that you can manage these tasks on the day-to-day or with the help of a weekly log as well. So here on the left, I am simply putting 7.1 and Thursday to indicate that that is the 1st of July. Some people use this header line for a lot of other things. Off on the right, you'll see I stuck a little cloud with 75 degrees. Fahrenheit, again, I am an American, or you could put your work schedule on that top line as well. And then you start putting things from that monthly task list onto your daily task list. So here I have scheduled, I know I need to batch film weeks 28 and 29. Hopefully I can get that done on Thursday. Again, I need to get a card for my mom. So I am putting over on here that I need to go to Walgreens. I'm going to pick up prescriptions, and I am going to pick up my card for my mom and put an asterisk again out next to that. And then as those things get done, you just mark a line to move on to the next day or cross off those items. And so here we go, we're moving on to Friday. I need to post a video on Friday, so my week 27 video is going to go up, and I need to follow along with comments on that day as that video is going live. Say on Fridays I always pick up my Walmart grocery order, so here I'm going to put in pick up Walmart order, and then as an event I'm going to put in movie night. And let's say that my comments, I followed along, they got started, so I've put a hash mark, but I haven't quite crossed it completely off yet because we are still following along with those comments. Did I pick up my Walmart order? Yes, I did, so I crossed that off. And then movie night, I may come along after movie night and make a note or two, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But for now, we're moving on to Saturday. Again, migrating things from the monthly to-do list, so looking at some of the things that I need to do, scheduling it, and when I schedule it, then I mark it with a backward arrow to know I have put that monthly task on a day. So hang at bedroom gallery, need to go to Dollar Tree, need to go to Michael's, need to do some laundry, whatever sort of tasks you have for the day. And then say, I hung the gallery wall, I went to the Dollar Tree, I went to Michael's, but I decided not to do the laundry. So I've turned that laundry into a forward arrow, and we are going to migrate it to the next day. But then if you do want to do some journaling or just add some notes to your day, you just use the dash indicator for notes, and I've put some fictional notes in here in regards to the stores I mentioned, as though I observed this Dollar Tree stock was low and I need to find out what day is truck day in order to go to that store. Or that Michael's sale items were mostly gone when I went to the store that day, so I couldn't pick up the journaling supplies that I wanted. And then again, Saturday's done, draw a line underneath it, move on to Sunday, and there I have moved laundry to Sunday where it needs to get done. This day-to-day or daily bullet journaling works great for some people, but for others, we like to have sort of a weekly overview, and that's what I'm going to set up here on the right. You can use the daily, you can use just some sort of weekly overview, or you can use a combination of the two. There have been times, especially in my work journal, where I've had to use a combination of the two. So what I've done here is created a box for each day of the week, and then on the right we have a rolling task list, or what is referred to as the Allister method, where you put your tasks for the week, again just in a stream of consciousness as you've scheduled them from your monthly task, or as you get to the beginning of your week and you're getting ready to proceed through your week. You just put all of those items down, and then you put a dot on the day you intend to get it done, and then if you get it done that day, great. You draw a line across and create an X underneath the other bullet point to show that that is finished. Or as you can see as I go through the samples, sometimes maybe you won't get something done on that particular day, and so you put your dot on the next day or the day that you completed it, and then draw your line across so that you know what day you scheduled it and then what day it actually got done. This particular week I set up fictionally for July 5th through 11th, the week following the week we did on the left side of the page. And here I'm going to show you how we choose when those things have gotten done. So I put on my list batch film for week 30 and 31. We're going to say that got done on Monday, so draw the line across and put an X so that you know it got done. Voiceover for week 28 and 29. I scheduled it on Monday, but I didn't do it until Wednesday, and so that is where I'm going to put the dot and then cross it off. Did I submit my weekly grocery order on Monday? Yes, I did. So draw the line across and cross it off, and that is how that rolling weekly works. And then below the task list, I have left a little spot for information I can put in for the following week, and it's just titled Next Week. For a very in-depth tutorial on the Allister method or the rolling weekly, I am going to link Elizabeth from Plant-Based Brides video below. It is very in-depth and very specific, and I definitely recommend you check it out. And of course I am going to number those pages 5 and 6, and the only one I'm going to mark on here is if I'm keeping track of weeks, and I'm going to put that week number here on that page 6. And it's nested below July so that we know it goes along with the July month. This is the part of bullet journaling that I definitely recommend you sit down, learn how to use, and begin following before you bring any sort of artistic element or bells and whistles into your journaling. It really is the meat of the journaling system and how you can be more productive day to day. And it does take a little bit of practice, so don't get discouraged if you find that the daily journaling system's not working for you, and then you try the weekly, and maybe that's not necessarily the best way for you to use it either. Maybe you need a combination of the two. You just have to experiment and find out what works best, and it does take some effort. Like I said, I did this for probably 3 or 4 months before I started adding any artistic elements to my journaling. And then, of course, when you dive into bullet journaling videos on the internet, some of the main ones to come up along with all of the paintings and the artsy pictures are things like habit trackers or sleep trackers, or how do I follow along with my health journey, or my mood trackers. And they tend to be very big and boisterous and beautiful. And I've set up plenty of those myself, but I just want to show you how to set up a tracking system that is just 2 pages and can track many of those same things. So you may want to just put it directly after your July spreads before you start your daily or your weekly planning. And so we're just going to call this July collections, and across the top I have put habits, steps, mood, sleep, and health. We have numbered the left side of the page exactly like we did our monthly, with the 1st through the 31st and then the days of the week next to it. There underneath those habits I have drawn a little bed to make my bed, a pill to take medications, a little dumbbell for workout, a lotus flower for meditation, an apple for eating healthy, and a book for reading. And then the step tracker is in the thousands with 1 to 10. The moods I have in the middle, your just normal, happy, everyday self. And then to the left, really happy. And then one more to the left, super ecstatic. And then on the right, you're sort of meh, not a great day. And then an angry face for a really bad day. For the sleep, we'll track that in hours. I put 1 through 10. You use what best works for you. And then under health, we have a place to track our weight, although I don't suggest you check that every single day, your blood pressure, and then your glasses of water. And then I have separated those out with a line across each as well to mark where the weekend ends and a new week begins. And then you fill that in however works best for you. Here I'm going to use X's. You can use a single dot. And so on the 1st of July, it looks like I made my bed and I took a pill that I needed to take, and I meditated and I ate healthy. But I didn't work out and I didn't do any reading that day. And I only had 4,000 steps. That's not a great day as far as the health is concerned either, but on our mood, I'm right there in the middle. And then again, tracking your sleep by the hours. There I showed you how I just set up a bar graph. So that first day, 8.5 hours of sleep. Say today I weigh 170 pounds, my blood pressure was 120/70, and I drank 6 glasses of water, or 6 8-ounce glasses of water, however you want to track your water intake. And just like everything else in the bullet journaling system, you can customize this collections page for anything that is important to you. You can put your types of workouts that you're following, whatever works best for you that you need to follow on a daily basis. And then of course we have numbered those pages 7 and 8 and flipped over to the index and nested them under July and simply put collections. And y'all, that hits the high points for the productivity, the scheduling, the calendar side of how you set up a basic bullet journal, and all that you definitely do need in order to be successful in your journaling journey. Now, I do suggest that you consider having a couple extra markers or even just a highlighter around just to have additional indicators. I particularly on this spread left a gap below the habits and where I started tracking because I wanted a thicker dark line there. So I'm going to show you how you can draw that in. These particular markers are Tombow dual brush pens, which you can buy individually from a craft store. And then of course I have used the light one as a very light gray highlight. Just to put over headers and that sort of a thing. You can use a regular highlighter for that. You can also choose to bring in a lot of different colors and coordinate different things by color in your journal, whether you want to give it a different color to every month or a different color to different bullet points. You can choose to do that as well. I see that done very often. Here I've used that gray marker to highlight the month, and then I am also going to go down and indicate the actual weekends for Saturday and Sunday down that calendar list. As I finish flipping through this basic setup for a bullet journal, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this today. I know when I am on other social media platforms, there's lots of questions about how do you bullet journal if you're not an artistic person, and really the art comes second. And then if you are not an artistic person and you want to be one, it just takes practice. I personally am not a great artist, and it does take some effort for me to do the spreads that are artistic on any specific level. And I am definitely not the first to say it. We have all said it out here before. All you need is a notebook and a pen. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me at Dots and Beyond on Instagram, as well as dotsandbeyond.com. There is a corresponding blog post with pictures to go along with this particular video if you would like a closer look at any of these spreads. Y'all, that is it for today's video. Please remember that bullet journaling is meant to be accommodating and work for you and your lifestyle, artistic or not. Let me know in the comments below what brought you to the bullet journaling system, artistic or not, and I will make sure and link the bullet journal video that got me started in the description box below, as well as a link to the bullet journal method book. Have a great day, my friends. Bye-bye. Here are a couple other videos I think you might enjoy.